Hello, my friends, to a new interview from Cuentame, USA with Moncho Camaro. Today, we're going to have I believe, a pleasant conversation with a songwriter from Texas, I think. I think she's located in Texas right now. And we're going to talk about a bunch of things. Her artist name is Luxe, and she's down south. I'm in New Jersey. She's in Texas. So we're saying hello to Lux. How are you doing, Lux?
I'm very good. Thank you so much for having me.
So we're going to describe Lux's music genre as could be dark electronic, could be ethereal wave, could be so many things. Ambient. It's not dream pop. I don't know. Southern Gothic. I don't know. So many things she could be. So we're going to start from the beginning. Were you born in Texas, Lux? Or I have another state that I don't know if you were born over there. It's in Oregon. Were you born in Texas or Oregon?
So I was born in Texas, but we moved around a lot. So I only lived in Texas for a few months in Houston.
Okay.
And then I think I have the order right that we moved to Utah, and then we lived in Mexico City for a little while. And then we moved to Washington and then to Oregon. And Oregon is where we lived kind of the longest in my childhood. I lived there for about almost 5 years. And then we moved back to Texas, and I've been here ever since I was 9.
Oh, so she's been all over the States. She's been quite a lot. Even Mexico City.
Yeah. So my mom is from there, and so all of our family on her side is over there. Okay. And so I go visit once or twice a year.
That sounds good to me. I was going to ask you. You went to a Christian academy in the town where you are right now. Is it New Braunfels?
Yeah. No, I went to a Christian academy here and then also in Oregon. And so I've only ever gone to public school. I only lasted like 3 months. I wasn't used to it because I'm used to classes of 5 kids.
Okay.
And then I went to public school, and there was 500 kids in my grade, and that was very overwhelming.
So that's like going to a Christian academy has anything to do with the music, the type of music you're writing, or it has nothing at all?
Nothing at all. If anything, maybe it made me push against it because I didn't really like my experiences at the Christian academies either. The one in Oregon I loved, but the one in Texas was very kind of brainwashy. And so my friends and I, we didn't really agree with what was being taught because they were very extreme. And so if anything, if it did have an influence, I don't really think it does, but if it did, it probably pushed me away from the
I understand. Especially when I try to understand your lyrics a little bit. I can see something over there,
Yeah. I don't think the Christian Academy would approve.
Yeah, you wouldn't make it. So what role did music play in the house where you grew up, in the family?
Everything, absolutely everything. From my dad's side, it was a lot of Depeche Mode and like, I'm trying to think of the other name.
Like
pretty
80s
much
music? You're talking about like 80s?
Pretty much. A lot of Depeche Mode, and a lot of things like that. A lot of dancey type of music like that. A lot of U2. And then from my mom, I got Shakira and Enrique Iglesias and Cher and all of that kind of stuff. And so it was quite a combo. And then my sister was really into Linkin Park. Oh. And I was, of course, into Hannah Montana and all that kind of stuff. So whenever we would go on road trips, it was just the most random music. It was very eclectic. It was everything.
Right. So, yeah. So you got a sister. She doesn't live in Texas, right? Does she?
No, she lives in California, and she's a very, very talented musician as well. She didn't choose to really pursue that, but she is incredible at just about every instrument she's picked up. And so it's been really cool to kind of grow up with that and see how good she is at everything. And I'll never be as good as she is at any instrument,
Oh,
but
come on. You're being
fun
too nice to her
watch.
right now.
But it's fun to watch.
Besides doing music, you also work at an animal rescue center. Am I correct, or
Yeah.
I'm just?
Yeah, no, I'm very big on animal rescue, and so we have 3 rescue dogs. We have a chicken, we have a cat, and I, I not so much anymore. I was very involved, but I recently had a kid, and so I haven't been as involved with the rescue center as I would like to be. But we used to foster dogs. We fostered 9, I believe. And then when we were fostering right up until I gave birth, I think the last one we had was like 2 or 3 weeks before I had my daughter. And then we decided we'll take a little break. And I still help out with a few things, but yeah, I really, really enjoy that. And I'm very passionate about
Yeah, it
it.
seems to me you put a lot of effort on worldly causes. I got 2 dogs myself, so.
Oh yeah, the dogs are everything. I mean, they're my first babies before I had my actual baby.
So I was going to talk about your music. Your latest single, the one that I listened, the last is called Somnos, which means like sleep or the god of sleep.
Yeah, so when we were trying to think of, because it's about a fever dream and like everything is just, when I wrote it, I kind of just imagined like quite literally a fever, like when you're sick, you have the flu or you have the fever and you're just up all night and like crazy thoughts and everything and like you're sweating and uncomfortable. That's kind of what I wrote it about. And so we wanted a name. We thought, we could just name it Fever Dream, but we wanted something a little bit, something that I didn't mention in the song so that it felt a little bit more like a story.
Okay.
And so that's how we came up with that. And it's actually usually it's supposed to be spelled Somnous.
Right.
And I can't even remember the reason why, but we took the O off of it. We thought it looks cooler that way. So I guess we made up our own word, kind of.
Right. That came out in June, but this year, that's what I have here. I listened to the song, but then I listened to your first EP, but I wasn't sure if, now I think I know, but I wasn't sure when it actually came out. 16,
So it came out a couple of years. Yeah. There was just
17, I think.
Yeah, that sounds right. We just had to re-upload it because of I don't know anything about the back end. My producer, he's my manager, my producer. He's everything, and he handles all of that. And so we re-uploaded it. But yeah, that was a few years ago. It's been a little while. Same with the Sick EP. Those were singles that I put out shortly after that the XVII EP came out, and then we kind of mashed them together to simplify it and make another EP.
Right, because when you go to I don't know, Spotify, it seems like they came out not too long ago.
Yeah, but they were a while longer. I took quite a break because I was going to Austin. So my producer, Joshua Rumer, he lived in Austin, and I was going once or twice a week. I was spending all day with him. We were recording, we were, planning things, we were doing photo shoots, doing music videos, we were doing so many things. Every Wednesday, that was my day. I drove to Austin, sat in 2-hour traffic coming home, and it was still worth it. And then actually right before the pandemic, he decided to move back home on the East Coast. And so, we said, okay, well, we'll have to make plans for me to come visit him. And then COVID happened. And so then, of course, we didn't travel. And then my partner and I decided, hey, since nobody's doing anything anyway, right now is a good time to have a kid. And so So then I had my daughter, and so I took quite a break. So I continued writing. I continued doing all of that stuff, that just comes naturally anyway,
Right.
that regardless of whether or not I'm putting out a song. And then I finally got to go visit Josh in April of last year. So it was a long time ago.
Hmm.
And that was when we finally recorded Somnos. We did the music video, and just life gets in the way because we just keep planning, to go back out there, and it's just with a toddler. And
Right. I mean, you're focusing on your family right now, it seems to me.
yeah, and so I'm trying to find the balance between, setting time aside for music, but it's so hard because,
Hmm.
it's kind of hard to be selfish with your parents.
I understand. Yeah, it makes
Yeah.
sense to me. So it's like taking a little break, but it's not
Yeah.
a break because the kid, it takes so many hours of your day,
Yeah.
especially
Yeah.
if you
No.
can sleep at night, every night. It's like a
Yeah.
nightmare. So I don't have kids anymore, but I know how my daughter does. So I know how she. So this Josh Robert, he's CEO of Invengo Records. Is that
So when he was in Austin, he was doing I mean, I have a bad memory, so I couldn't even tell you half the stuff he's done in California, but he did a lot of stuff in Los Angeles. He got very successful there. And then he moved to Austin to kind of settle down with his wife.
hmm.
And that's where he was really doing a lot within Vengo. And he was having, I mean, when I was showing up to record, there was somebody leaving. And when I was leaving, there was somebody coming. And so he was very, very busy. And I think that's part of the reason why he wanted to move back home to the East Coast, was because he was just so overworked. And they had actually just had a kid.
Okay.
And so he thought, there's no need for me to be working this much.
Right.
And so, yeah. And so actually, the way that I found him is that I was probably, I think I was 16, and I just was.
You send demos to him? Is that how you?
So I was 16, and I was just, at that time, my priorities were much different. At that time, my priority was like, I want to be a singer and be famous. Now it's much different. It's like, I just want to make a living off of doing what I
Right.
enjoy. But at that time, that was what it was. And so I was kind of contacting everyone I could, and didn't really hear back from anyone except for Josh. And I found him on Craigslist. I was just looking up, like, you know, studios near me, producers near me.
Mhm.
And I just sent him just a really, really like low quality voice memo on my phone because that was all I could do at the time.
Right.
And when as soon as I sent it, I thought, okay, I'm not going to hear back from him. I never hear back from people after I send them these low quality things. And he emailed me back right away and said, I want to work with you. And at the time, it was way out of our budget. And
Right.
so I was really bummed out because I thought, okay, I finally found somebody. And now I can't even, I'm 16. I don't have money. I can't pay for this. And my mom is like, no, I'm not doing that. And so he emails me, I think it was maybe like 2 months later, and he says, I'm putting on this competition. I need you to enter. And so it kind of, I knew, okay, there's a reason why he's telling me to enter. Like, I really should.
Right.
And again, it was very low quality what I could put together. And there were other people who had quite high budgets. You could see who else had entered, and they had really, really high quality stuff. So I
Yeah.
kind of went into it thinking, oh, another, wasted time.
Yeah.
And my friend helped me record it, and it was so stressful. Her computer crashed before she saved anything. So we had recorded everything. It was such an ordeal. We spent a couple hours doing it, and then we were
Right.
trying to find good acoustics, so we had to record it in my bathroom. And it was such a wild time. And then I ended up finding out. So 17 is my lucky number, has been forever. And
Oh, okay.
found out, yeah, so that's what the EP is named after. I found out on my 17th birthday that I won. And so that was really cool. I was laying down on my couch waiting for my mom to get ready so we could go out to dinner for my birthday. And I'm just on my phone and I go, you know what, let me check my email. And I checked my email and it said that I won and I could not believe it. And so we go to meet him and the studio was in his house. And so I remember my mom kind of thinking like, you know, is this for real? And we get into his room that he turned into a studio. It was
Mhm.
actually his garage that he had completely soundproof. You would have never known it was a
Right.
garage. I didn't know until like a year later. And we sat down with him. My first song, Dirty Money, I told him exactly what I wanted. We recorded a little demo
Mm.
and I told him what I was looking for and everything. And I had a vision in my head and I kind of told him what I could. We come
Mhm.
back the next week and he plays it for us. It was my mom and my friend who had helped me record the demo, and we all were speechless. We could not believe how incredible he did
Yeah.
with, and we just understood each other. And it was kind of just like a moment where we both knew this was going to be such a good partnership
Yeah.
because anytime I tell him something, he knows exactly what I'm talking about and vice versa. And so it really makes the writing and recording process so easy because I don't have to sit there and explain myself for hours. He just gets it.
Yeah, yeah, those songs that you wrote. I mean, they caught my attention. That's why the reason I wanted to talk to you. Uh, I was gonna ask you regarding the news, that song, Somnos. Who's the baby in the video
That's
clip?
my daughter.
Oh, okay, all right. Okay. I was thinking, I wonder who. It's a
Yeah,
nice clip. I like it.
so when I went to the East Coast to stay with Josh and to record Somnus and to film it and everything, my sister came with me to take care of my daughter because she was only 7 or 8 months, I think, at the time, and so obviously she needed like somebody fully there with her, you know, and it was too much work for me to be taking care of her while recording. So my sister was so kind and came with me
Hmm.
and we all got in the car, we're filming the music video, and we had no idea that her name is Duna. We had no idea that Duna was going to be in the music video.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
I just put her in just regular clothes. And I love the bonnets for babies. And
Right.
so when Josh saw the bonnet, he said, that is just the cutest thing. And that would look so good in this music video.
Oh, yes.
And so he said, just set her right there. And so I set her down there and
Mm.
she just starts like laughing and looking around. And I've learned to just trust Josh because sometimes when he tells me something, I'm like, no. but but almost, I mean, he's rarely wrong. And that time, I mean, it was really cool. And it's also cool to have to look back at. It's
Right.
only been a year and a half since then, since we filmed it. So I guess that's kind of a while, but she's
Yeah.
changed so much. And so whenever I look at that video, it's
Right.
crazy to
Yeah.
see how.
I wasn't sure if it was you or if it was, I thought of your daughter, but I
Yeah.
wasn't sure
Hmm.
that was her when she was little, but I wasn't sure. Um, I was I like the music you do because I don't know, there are so many different genres included in your song. So I don't know. I could point to other artists, but I don't know. Chelsea Wolf, I don't know. Ethel Kane, I don't. It's like so many different. But
Yeah.
I like, just by looking at your photos, the ones you post, it has a feeling. You can tell you're not doing reggaeton just by looking at those
Yeah.
photos. You know what I mean?
Yeah. That's why it's tough because I try to stand out because I know that my music is different than a lot of just the music that's played on the radio stations and everything. But at the same time, I'm not very good at putting myself out there. And so I try to find a balance of like putting myself out there, but not, you know, embarrassing myself. And that's another thing too is one of my friends, Julia, she's helped me with all of those photos on my Instagram
Right.
since Josh moved and she's just incredible. And there sometimes she has some ideas. Like she told me one of the last shoots we did, she told me to hold a bottle or a glass of wine, and we were gonna pour the wine. And you know, originally you hear that and you just think, oh my God, that's crazy. But it really does just turn out so, so amazing. And so I'm
Yeah.
just very lucky that I've found people. It's taken a long time, but I've found creative people that
Right.
align with me creatively.
So what type of subjects would you say do you like to address in your songs?
What
Like
type of art?
subjects,
Oh,
like darker aspects of human emotions, or
yeah, I mean, I've dealt with depression a lot and anxiety, severe anxiety, OCD, a lot of just things like that, a lot of loss.
Mm,
And so I try to kind of like dive into that. It's interesting because when I was in when I first started writing music, I was very young. I was 7 or 8. And at
mm,
that time, I had not experienced anything. And so, but somehow I was still able to write like I had experienced stuff. And so sometimes I look back at songs from that age and I would have thought that they were written now because, you know, I'm talking about losing someone or, you know, loving somebody. And it's like, what did I know at 7 years old? And so I think I've just always been able to write about things that I didn't even experience.
yeah.
And so then as I got older, it turned into me writing songs starting from something that didn't happen, or maybe something that happened and then it turns into something else. Like my song Youth, I wrote that my mom and I had visited New York. I think I was 14 or 15, and I saw just some teenagers like on the corner of like a main avenue. I think it actually was Fifth Street. And I just remember thinking to myself, like, I wonder what their story is. I wonder what they're doing today. And so I wrote the whole song Youth
So
just about
it's like you're creating your own reality. It's like
yeah. And so I mean, I have no idea what those kids were doing, but I created this, and of course, the story I create is a sad one. And so I just always was into creating sad things. And when I first met my boyfriend, we've been together now almost 7 years. And when
right.
I first met him, I had extreme writer's block because I had only ever known writing bad stuff. And of course, you know, I was happy with him, and it was so hard to write songs because I couldn't write about being happy. I have to write about being sad.
Okay.
And so he would always ask me, "Why don't you write about me?" And I go, "Well, it's because I don't write happy songs. If I write a song about you, it's not going to be a good one." And so, yeah, and there are a lot of my songs also that were written, you know, start to finish is a true story and nothing was embellished. But
Mm.
a lot of my songs, I like to kind of start from something that happened and then make my own
So
story.
it's easy now for you to write a song? It's
Oh yeah.
hmm.
Oh yeah. I mean, I could my dad always would laugh at this, but I just taught myself to do this when I was younger. I would think of an object in the room and I would write a song about that object, but I wouldn't make it like a joke song. I would make it to where you would have no idea I was singing about, you know, the flowers in the corner of the room. You would think it was some deep song.
Right.
And so one of my favorite ones was I wrote a song about I had just showered and I set my towel down and the towel fell onto the ground and I didn't care to pick it up. And I
Mm.
remember just stopping in that moment and thinking, why don't I care to pick up the towel? And it's just such a dumb, like such a small moment. And so I wrote a song about the towel perspective, about just being used and everything.
So
And so my
like
dad
it's
would
almost
always
automatic for you, it seems
yeah,
like.
yeah. And so my dad always likes to use that as an example. He thought it was so funny that I would write a song about a towel. And so I really do like, I've just always loved writing. I used to write short stories. I used to write little books and I would print them out in my dad's office and I would just pass them out to my family. And I
Mm.
would say, the book I wrote, you know, and so I've always just very much loved telling stories.
So when you write, do you feel like you are 100% honest with your thoughts?
Yeah, I would say
Taking your mask off completely, or You,
Yeah,
yeah.
there have been songs I've written from other, like, for friends. If a friend is going through something and I write something kind of, so sometimes I don't really write from my perspective. And so in those, no, because I'm not really feeling that way. But the songs that I'm writing from my perspective, absolutely. Yeah. And that's the easiest way for me to tell my emotions. Because like I said, I have really bad anxiety and I've always struggled with like telling people things. I don't like confrontation. And so music is kind of the way that I've always been able to do that.
Hmm. Is there any particular artist that you listen that makes you feel better when you listen to their songs, their music? Like any that you really enjoy listening
I
to?
would say the neighborhood has influenced my music more than anybody. I've seen them in concert like 8 or 9 times. And so their music just, and it's very dark. I don't know if, do you know who the neighborhood is?
I know I was going to ask you because I don't know.
It's very dark music, and I can honestly say that if I had never found their music, who knows, my music could be totally different
Hmm.
because
You
they're
write it
very
down.
into black and white, and you can see that on my Instagram and on my Spotify page of the artwork that I have. That I'm very into black and white, and I'm very into kind of like dark, mysterious, and that's exactly how their music is. And so I would definitely say the neighborhood. Lana Del Rey
Right.
has really influenced my music. And The Weekend, not so much his new stuff, but his first album,
Hmm.
I started listening to that right. I mean, right when it came out. I'm trying to think of when that was. I was between the ages of maybe 12 and 15, so it's kind of a range, but I actually think I was like 12. And if you listen to the lyrics of that album, it's very dark stuff. It's probably not anything a 12-year-old should be listening to, but I did. And I remember just like that album just I loved it so much, and that really influenced my music as well because he was singing about things that it was like, whoa, he just said that. And so
I'll
yeah,
take
it
a
was,
listen. I'll take a listen to that weekend.
yeah, it's I mean, some of the lyrics are very shocking, but it's just I love that about it. And I don't think I could see myself taking it that dark per se, but it's a nice thing to draw, inspiration from.
Hmm. So how do you handle criticism or being
Honestly,
graded? Is something that is a big problem for you to see?
well, yes, because again, I have the anxiety. And I remember when I was younger, we had a family YouTube channel where it was basically just our music videos. And my sister and I were so embarrassed. If it was up to us, we would have not had that. It was my dad doing it.
Right.
And he thought it was, he was proud of his kids. And so he was sharing it with everyone. And my sister and I were just mortified. And so we got bullied a little bit for that. And
Right.
I look back to some of those. My sister has them like unlisted now, thank God. But sometimes she'll send me one, and I listen to it and I'm like, I can see how I was made fun of for that. And so I get it, but it was very tough. And so that's something I'm trying to get better at because I'm definitely the type of person that tends to care way too much what people think.
Right.
And so um, I've always said that, if I were to sing to a room full of 5 people and none of them are interested in my music, I would be more nervous to do that versus singing to 100 people who are enjoying my music.
Right.
Because I hate rejection and not feeling, in place, because my whole life I felt out of place because I do so many, we did competitive tennis, so we would get out of school early. And
Mhm.
then at tennis, we did the music. And so everywhere I was, I felt like I didn't quite fit in.
Mm.
And so that's something I'm struggling with.
Do you still
I,
play tennis though? Do you still
I,
play tennis?
I actually teach tennis now. I
Get
do
out of
tennis.
here. Oh my God. I love tennis. That's why I ask.
We that's why we moved to Texas. So
Mm.
my sister and I kind of outgrew the tennis scene in Oregon. I was #1 for my age group in the Pacific Northwest, and I can't remember what my sister was, but she was up there too. And so then we moved to Texas, and yeah, that's what we moved here for. And that's actually kind of why I quit, is because I had such severe anxiety. And so I was one of the top players. And I think it just kind of like, I was able to push it out of my head for as long as I could as a kid. But then once I got to 15, 16 years old, I would get so much anxiety that I couldn't move. And so, you know, I would have to serve and play a point, and I literally could not move. And it just got to a point where it was like, I can't keep doing this.
It happens to a lot of tennis
Yeah.
players.
And it's very sad because, I mean, I know that I had the potential to really, I mean, my sister got a full ride scholarship to a Division I school. And my parents for sure thought I was on the same track. And I thought so too. I thought, you know, maybe I'll even try to go pro, because some of the girls that I had hit with, they were doing that. And I knew that I had that potential. But anxiety got in the way.
Didn't work
So
out.
Instead of going to tennis after school, I would be in my room on my piano.
What is your favorite instrument then to play, or the one you learned? Piano?
Yeah, the only two I really play are piano and drums. And for writing, obviously piano is easier and more efficient to write on. And I learned guitar for a little bit there, but I don't have the willpower with like, you know, your fingers hurting. And so I still have my guitar in the corner of my room in hopes that I want to learn it again, but
you got plenty of time.
Yeah.
You're still too young, so
yeah.
You can learn the harp and the violin.
I actually did know mandolin and violin when I was younger.
Oh, yeah?
When I was younger, when my dad was able to force us to play instruments, I was great. when he had the power to tell us, okay, you're going to this lesson at this time, I did great because I didn't have a choice. And so I played violin, mandolin, piano, drums, and I was pretty decent at all of them. And then as I got older, I was able to say no.
So do you write to a specific audience? When you write, you're thinking of a specific audience in mind? You have
No, I actually write most of my songs thinking I'm not even going to put them out. Like there's a few songs that we're going to record soon that I just wrote just, you know, because it really is my therapy. And so I just wrote them just cause. And then when we were trying to think of what songs we want to do next, I pulled those ones up, and they really were the best fitting ones to kind of match the vibe with Somnos. And those are songs that I didn't even think I would put out.
Do you write in silence, or you prefer music in the background, or it doesn't matter?
Silence, definitely.
Love silence.
Also, I will say I've had to get kind of creative because after having my daughter, because some songs I write because I think of a random melody. And before I had her, you know, if I had a melody come to mind, I could immediately come to the piano and I can start working on it. But obviously, I don't have flexibility anymore. What if I'm putting her down for a nap? What if I'm in the middle of feeding her, or I'm in the car taking her somewhere? And so now I had to get very creative. I have a lot of voice memos on my phone of me in the corner of our room, because our daughter sleeps with us. And so, you know, she'll be asleep and I don't want to open the door to wake her up. So I'll just go to the corner and I'll whisper a melody. And so I have a lot of voice memos on my phone of just whispering a melody. And a few of them I have come back to and made a whole song out of it. But some of them I just forget.
So you got some new upcoming singles in the near future? Or?
Yeah. We're hoping to. I was going to come visit him to go visit Josh in September, but now September's kind of already here. And so I'm not really sure. We're trying to figure out, you know, it is doable. We've done it before where I record from here, send it to him, he mixes it. It, of course, you know, is not as efficient, but it'll do. And so we're working on doing the next couple of songs like that. And then I have some people, I have Julia and a few other people here who can help me with the music video and things like that. So we're trying to find a balance because I want to get back into the swing of things and put out, more than just one song a year.
Right.
But it is tough.
I know. You got time, plenty of time. So in what aspect do you think you have to still to improve to be a better musician, you think?
I think that I think I need to put myself out there more because when I do, I get good rewards, when I do try to book myself and try to perform at festivals, I get a lot of good opportunities, but because of my anxiety, I worry about like how many people are going to be there and, because some of the problems is that I love performing at veg fests, which are vegan festivals. And I've done one, two, three. I've done three, and I was going to do two others, but they ended up getting canceled. And I love doing those because I'm around like-minded people who love animals just as much as me. But the problem is that the people aren't there for music. They're there for the food and the vendors and all of that. And so that, of course, hurts my anxiety too, because I'm just in the corner singing and there's just people walking by. And so it's a good experience to go and do that, but it kind of hurts my anxiety. So I'm trying to find the balance of putting myself out there and just being okay with whatever happens, because really you're not going to get anywhere if you don't put yourself out there. And I credit Julia a lot to helping me with my social media because I am just terrible with social media. I mean, for me, I use my personal page really just to talk to friends and to, something funny that I saw, like a meme or something. I'm not really the type of person to just put myself out there.
No,
and so
I could tell. It's hard to find stuff from you. Like, there's not much. I always like looking for more. And I guess a lot of listeners, they go to Spotify or whatever, they listen to your music, they want to see a little more. That's what my feeling is like, because it's good. It's not like, okay, if it's okay, I just listen to another. But once they focus on your music and they like it, they want to hear a little more.
That's the other thing I want to get better at is coordinating with Josh so that we can have music coming out more often, because what I've found is that, okay, whenever I put a song out, people like it, but okay, I'm just listening to this song. I need another one. And so we need to kind of follow it up with another one. And so I'm trying to just be more active, I guess, would be the best word to use, is more actively engaged in my music. But it's hard because this isn't, how I make money right now. This isn't, and so it's tough because I can't just dedicate everything to it. I wish I could, because I think that would really make a huge difference. And then at the end of the day, when I finally have my time to come do music, if I'm exhausted, I'd rather just lay on the couch and watch reality television, And so I really am trying to stay active though with everything, because, I will get an opportunity here and there, like, you contacting me. And luckily I jumped right on it, but there have been times in the past where I don't. And of course I don't know why I wouldn't, but it's just kind of the fear of like, is it going to go well, or, this
it
and
really,
that.
Lux, it really doesn't matter. I mean, when I started doing these interviews, I was afraid myself of like, what are they gonna think? Like, I can barely speak any English. So what are they gonna say? The comments. I don't. Once you start moving and going up, you don't really care. I don't really care. It's just like a hobby to me. It doesn't affect my life, my daily life, what people think. I have to do my own thing. So it's like,
I've got to learn that.
it's like, who cares what they think? I gotta go get up in the morning. They're not coming to the house saying, drive my car to where I go. They're not gonna do anything for me. So why should I care what they do? So do you know who Moby is? Movie,
Who?
movie.
Oh, Moby. Yeah, the vegan. He's a
Right.
vegan,
He has
right?
a
Yeah.
podcast that I listen to. I really like the guy.
Oh, okay. Yeah, yeah. I don't. He makes music too, right?
Of course, he's a producer,
Okay,
a musician.
I've never really listened to his music, but I know about his activism, and I knew that he was either a musician or yeah.
Yeah, yeah. He started with the punk music, but he's electronic music. He does country songs. He does everything.
Okay, I'll need to check it out. Yeah, I think I follow him actually, but I usually am more interested in the animal stuff.
Yeah, he talks about animals.
Yeah,
About a pet. Yeah, he talks a lot about veganism and stuff. So it's
yeah,
very cool. I just remember about that.
yeah.
There is a punk rock vegan movie that he made about the punk rock bands that they were into veganism, and they were
Oh,
into all the bands that they. Yeah, I don't know. Something that I want to be a vegan. I can't. I'm sorry. I'm trying my
it's
best.
I'm actually not vegan right now. I'm vegetarian.
Right.
I was vegan for a few years and I loved it so much. And then I found out that I have celiac disease, so I'm allergic to gluten.
Okay.
And living in Texas, and I know it can be done, absolutely, but living in Texas, we live in a pretty country type of town, and the only restaurants that offer gluten-free and vegan options, and it's not just a salad or French fries, it's like
Right.
two restaurants. And so there's really not a whole lot of options. So I'm vegetarian right now, and I'm planning on going vegan. I'm hoping that, eventually we'll move to California or somewhere that it's much
Right.
easier.
More acceptable to
Yeah.
yeah. I was gonna say I listened to a song. I don't even know. It's a Christmas song that you sang. Called,
Yeah.
I really enjoy listening to that song.
Yeah, so
It,
that has a funny story. I was invited to sing at it was a very small Christmas festival in Georgetown, a little bit past Austin. This was a
hmm,
few years ago. And I remember asking Josh, me, really? They want me to come sing at the Christmas festival? My
hmm.
music doesn't really fit that. And he goes, I told them that you're gonna write a Christmas song for it. And I said, why would you say that? I don't want to do that. And so that was one of those things that he forced me to do because I did not want to do it. And I thought to myself, Christmas, like Lux and Christmas do not match at all. And so he told me, I know you can do it. And that was really tough for me to write. And so I remember that my boyfriend and we were sitting down at the piano and we were just messing around. And I was just playing around with chords. And then that movie Krampus had just come out, the scary one.
Right.
And I thought, if I'm going to write a Christmas song, it should be about that because at least it's scary and it kind of fits with my dark vibe. So
Yeah.
I started thinking Krampus is coming, and I played it with like scary sound and everything, and we just were messing around and we thought it was so funny. And then I thought to myself, I could actually make something out of this, and so then we made it more lighthearted and we changed it to Christmas is coming, and then the lyrics are very much like involved with like our house at the time because the birds are chirping was about our chickens. um the dogs are barking. It was so long ago I don't even fully remember the lyrics, but the dogs are barking, and so like people ringing the doorbell and our dogs going crazy.
Yeah.
And then needing to get something else from the grocery store because of course everyone always forgets something. And so that song was actually pretty easy once I finally agreed and finally told myself, okay, I'm gonna write a Christmas song. It was so easy. I probably wrote it in maybe an hour.
Yeah. It's a great song. I'm
Thank you.
gonna use it during the next Christmas just to yeah.
That's one of those songs that my family and my boyfriend's family, they love to play at Christmas time, and I get so embarrassed. And so they put it on and I go, no, 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 change it, change it. But I mean, I do like it. It is just weird hearing your songs.
No, it is. I understand. It's like sometimes it's hard for even myself listening to my interviews. I don't listen to them. Once I'm
Yeah,
done, that's it. I cannot go back because I'm gonna find a lot of things that I don't like. So might as well just download,
right.
right?
Yeah.
So it was nice talking to Lux. I really enjoy her music. That's the reason I tried to get in touch with her, and she was nice and generous to answer me. So I would suggest to go to Spotify and listen to her 2 EPs and the Christmas song. That song is good. So you can start with that one if you want. And then this is the soothest one. Is relaxing.
I have a question for you. How did you find music?
How did I find your music?
Yeah.
If I tell you the truth, I think I found it in YouTube. I think.
Oh, really?
I think I did. I was listening to some dark wave music or some. I don't know. I bet
That's the most surprising answer, honestly, because we are not active on YouTube at all, and so I think I probably have like two subscribers on YouTube.
Yeah, well, you got me.
Yeah, now I have 3.
You got me. I think it was that. And then I went to Spotify trying to search for more, and that's when I started listening to your songs. I really enjoyed them. So
awesome. Well, thank you so much.
I like the longer tones, the soothing and the lyrics I love, because I'm a little crazy also myself. So sometimes I will listen to a song for hours and hours, the same one.
Yeah, people who listen to my music, I think you can tell right away when you listen to my music if you're going to love it or hate it, because it's very much one type of sound and kind of an unusual one. And so I've had people listen to it and go, not my thing. And then I've had other people who go, oh my gosh, I want more right now. And so I've gotten one or the other response. I've never really gotten a neutral.
Neutral one, I really enjoyed it. I like that. I like mostly any genre of music, but I'm not gonna listen to Lux when I'm in the beach. Probably not. I won't probably do that. But when I'm in my room doing my things or nobody around, that's when I like listening to Lux. So it's up to you. You can listen anywhere, even in church, but don't put it too loud because then you're gonna be kicked out in 2 seconds. So don't do that. But you can instead of listening to that crazy priest, you can listen to Lux. Pretend that you're listening to the other guy.
Especially with the new song Somnos, because I don't know if you know this or not, but the beginning and the end, the guy talking, that's from
I was gonna ask you about that. I forgot.
That's from Exorcist.
Okay. This lady.
Yeah, because when we were writing the song, I said I want something dark in the beginning, and Josh goes, well, like what? And I said I want something from a horror film. And so I'm very, very into horror movies, love them. And one of the first movies that came to mind was The Exorcist. And so we kind of were just like watching the movie and just kind of like skimming through the movie. And that immediately stuck out to us. And you can actually hear in the chorus of the rest of the song, the demon saying intensely intent. And so that's, so that song definitely don't play in a church. And then it was kind of cool. The year after we made that song, initially before we released it, my boyfriend and I love to go to Halloween Horror Nights at Universal Studios.
Oh, that's great.
Last year, one of the houses was The Exorcist, and in one of the rooms, they play that soundbite, and they play that exact moment where he says, "What an excellent day for an exorcism." And I remember just for a moment, I kind of forgot that I took that from The Exorcist, and I was like, "They're playing my song."
My song. What are they doing?
So we thought it was really cool, but I quickly remembered, oh no, that's theirs.
So yes, I really enjoy Lux's music. So I just want to thank her for being so generous with her time, and just keep an eye on her music and what she's doing, because she really has a lot of talent. She just has to put it out, and she's in her early 20s, I think. I don't know.
Yeah.
So from 20 to 80, there is so many things she can do. I don't know.
Thank you.
So I just wish her all the best, and just keep doing what you're doing, just a little more often, if you have time.
Yes.
If you have the time, you need maybe 2 or 3 more years girl to grow up, and
Yeah.
you're gonna have extra time to write and to do music. So I'll keep an eye on you, Lux, for
Thank you so much. Thank you for having me.
and just one more thing. So what's the best way to listen to your music? If someone like have no idea what you do, what's the best way to get into a couple of your songs and video clips? I guess YouTube is the best way to get in touch.
Oh, I would say the best way for everything is to go to my website. It's
Okay.
theluxesound.com.
Okay.
And from there, you'll have the link to my Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, Spotify, Apple Music, and I also have merch. And so I have some cool different merchandise items.
Vinny hat, I think I saw a Vinny hat or some hat.
Yeah, I have a beanie. I love hats. I have a beanie, bucket hat, koozies. I have some shirts. I have a bag. But the best way would probably be to go onto my website, and then you can, for each song, it'll have the link for Apple Music and Spotify. So yeah, I would say that's the best spot. And then to find out about new songs, the best spot would be to go to my Instagram, which is also, it's at theluxesound. And yeah, I would say those are the two best spots.
Yeah, that's what I keep searching for new things. I'll keep searching.
Okay.
I'll keep searching myself. I'm not going away. I'm gonna keep her in my eye. My eye is gonna be on her all the time.
Thank you very much. Hopefully we'll have new stuff coming out soon. Yeah.
So I really appreciate talking to Lux, and take a listen, because if you like dark wave music, or I don't know, if you like goth, you're gonna like her also. So take a look. And she's nice. She's very
Yeah, I'm not, I know my music can be a little scary, but I'm not
she's
scared.
nice. I'm probably sure you can open her door and you're not gonna get killed. They're gonna welcome you with a nice smile and give you some cup of tea. So don't worry.
Whenever I perform, everyone's very shocked that, up there, I'm stone cold. I don't smile. I don't talk much. I get up there and I do my thing. And then I come off and I'm giggly and I'm talking and everyone's so surprised.
She has a nice way of seeing life. So
thank you.
I really appreciate it. And that's it. Next week we'll talk to somebody else. And sometimes I say, today I'm gonna say also, don't even waste your time if you wanna get something better than what I did today. If this is the best I can do, so you can just listen to this and that's it, because this is the best I can do. Don't even bother with the next interview. There's nothing good on that. Just see this one. It's good enough. See you next week, guys.
Thank you for having me.